I've often read and heard couples talk about when you've been in a relationship for so long, um, we assume the man introduces the conversation and says, we've been together for so long, let's spice it up. The woman's response is, but this wasn't part of what I signed up for. So what is
Mm.
changing now? Um, how do you have that conversation? How do you even, if you've always been traditional, and just this is for the lack of a better term, traditional in your approach, you've always been monogamous, and that's what you had vowed to each other when you were married, and now things are changing for whatever reason. How do you have that conversation with your partner?
With great difficulty. Um, you can't assume that this is going to be an easy thing and just be able to sort of enter into that and start that conversation. You have to first be okay with yourself to enter into that conversation and anticipate how your partner might respond. And as it is that you are raising that, then not become defensive if your partner becomes critical, becomes quite upset or anything like that, that they are wrong or they're close-minded or anything like that. But you have to hear and have empathy for their reality as well. um, and it might be that such a conversation is not an conversation, but it is actually over a long period of time, several conversations that might start with, how are we doing as a couple? How are we? And what works and what doesn't work. And from there on, building onto a conversation, but not in a way of being dishonest, of I'm going to ask you how we are
Mm.
because actually I want to sleep with somebody else, right? Uh, but but to be sincere in the conversations that you wish to have. But Lynette, also just to raise something here, we assume, as you quite rightly say, it would be the man who want to do that,
Mm.
but it is not always the case.
I know.
Female sexuality is very powerful and much more complex than we would like to frame it. And if you read books about the two, one very famous book, Nancy Friday's book, My Secret Garden, is about
Mm.
women's sexual fantasies. That was written in the 60s and 70s. When you read that, women are not necessarily invested in monogamy. Women, I mean, and of course, what women fantasize is not necessarily, well, people, men as well, is not necessarily what they
Yes.
want to do, right? But we shouldn't assume that this is a gendered thing and that it is men who want to do this only.